India is no stranger to massive infrastructure projects. But when it comes to the sheer scale of the Vadhvan Port, you have to wonder, why now? Why this project? The story behind the 76,220 crore rupee Vadhvan Port is more than just a tale of economic ambition. It's about power. It's about India staking its claim as a dominant force in global trade. But what's at stake? How could a port, just one port, be the key to unlocking India's next phase of growth? This isn't your everyday infrastructure story. Think of Vadhvan as the centerpiece of a massive chess game that India is playing on the world stage. Every country is vying for a better position in global trade, but India's hand just got a whole lot stronger. This isn't just about moving goods across oceans, it's about redefining who controls the most important shipping lanes on the planet. Now ask yourself, what would it mean for a country like India to dominate the global trade routes that connect Asia, Europe, and beyond? Vadhvan Port isn't just some regional project in Maharashtra. It's a step toward redefining India's place in the world economy. And it's not just about the staggering cost. Sure, 76,220 crore rupees is an eye-popping number, but the ripple effects are what's really jaw-dropping. Picture this. By 2030, when this port is fully operational, it won't just be India that benefits. The entire landscape of global trade might look different. But why does India need a port of this scale, and why now? To answer that, we need to go back, not just a few years, but centuries. Ports have always played a pivotal role in India's history, so this project is deeply rooted in the country's DNA. Vadhvan is more than just a way to alleviate congestion at other ports. It's about making a statement. It's about showing the world that India is serious about becoming a global trade leader, and it's ready to take that leap. And let's be honest, in today's world, control of the seas means control of the economy. But how does India pull this off? Is this a guaranteed success, or is it a gamble? One thing is for sure, Vadhvan has the potential to be a game changer on a scale few have imagined. Let's break down exactly how India got to this point and what this project could mean for the country's future. To understand the importance of Vadhvan Port, you first need to look at India's historical relationship with trade. For centuries, India was a bustling hub of maritime activity, its coastal cities brimming with ships from across the world. Places like Surat, Kolkata, and Mumbai weren't just local trading points. They were the lifeblood of global trade routes that spanned continents. But as the world evolved and trade intensified, India's port infrastructure struggled to keep up. Despite having one of the largest coastlines in the world, India has lagged behind in its ability to handle the colossal ships that dominate international shipping today. This is where Vadhvan comes in. Located in Palghar, Maharashtra, Vadhvan is strategically positioned just 150 kilometers away from Mumbai. But why Palghar? Why not expand one of India's existing ports like Jawaharlal Nehru Port, JNPT, or Mumbai Port? The answer lies beneath the surface literally. Palghar offers natural deep water channels, meaning the waters here are deep enough to accommodate the massive ultra-large container vessels, ULCVs, that dominate modern maritime trade. You might be wondering, what makes these deep waters so important? Here's the thing, most of India's ports can't handle these giant ships, and the few that can are already bursting at the seams. JNPT, for example, is India's largest container port, but it's operating at near capacity, with ships often forced to wait for hours, even days to dock. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a chokehold on India's trade capabilities. Time is money in global shipping, and delays can cost businesses millions. Palghar's deep waters offer a solution, but that's just the beginning. The location is also key because of its proximity to the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, one of India's most critical economic zones. This corridor is a sprawling network of highways, railways, and industrial hubs designed to make the movement of goods faster and more efficient. With Vadhvan plugged directly into this corridor, goods can be shipped from anywhere in India to the rest of the world with unprecedented speed and efficiency. And that's just scratching the surface of what's possible. But here's the kicker. Vadhvan isn't just about serving India. It's about serving the world. With its strategic location along the coast of Maharashtra, the port is ideally situated to become a key node in global trade routes that connect Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Think about the impact this could have. Right now, many of the world's largest container ships bypass Indian ports altogether, preferring to dock in more established hubs like Dubai or Singapore. Why? Because India's ports simply can't handle them. But with Vadhvan, that changes. These ships will now have a viable option in India, cutting down on transit times and opening up new possibilities for international trade. And the stakes are high. If India can pull this off, it won't just boost its own economy, it could reshape the entire global trade network. But there are challenges. Developing a port of this scale isn't just about pouring concrete and building terminals. It's about integrating cutting-edge technology, creating seamless logistics systems, and navigating the complex web of international shipping regulations. And let's not forget the environmental challenges. Coastal development always comes with risks, and the Indian government will need to ensure that the port doesn't come at the expense of the local ecosystem. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we dive into the technical aspects, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of this project. Building a deep-water port in Palgar is no small task, and the government is betting big on its success. But with the backing of private investors, cutting-edge technology, and strategic vision, Vadhvan is poised to become a game-changer not just for India, but for the world. Imagine what this could mean for India's role on the global stage. Could Vadhvan be the key to unlocking India's full economic potential? Or is it too much of a gamble? One thing's for sure, the world is watching and India is ready to make its move. This port is more than just an infrastructure project. It's a symbol of India's ambitions, its aspirations, and its future. Now, as we continue to explore the details of the project, keep this in mind. Vadhvan is not just about relieving pressure on existing ports. It's about positioning India as a global maritime leader, a nation that controls the trade routes of the future. The question is, will India seize the opportunity? To truly grasp why the Vadhvan Port project is a potential game changer, we need to understand the grand vision behind it. This isn't just about building a port to handle ships, it's about reimagining how India interacts with the world. For decades, India has been seen as an economic powerhouse waiting to happen. The resources, manpower, and potential have always been there. But something was missing. That something was infrastructure specifically, the kind of infrastructure that could support India's growing role in international trade. The Vadhvan Port is more than a solution to India's existing port congestion. It's part of a larger, almost audacious vision laid out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government under the PM Gati Shakti initiative. What is this vision? It's a multimodal connectivity strategy designed to supercharge India's logistics network. Ports, highways, railways, airports, everything connected like never before. But why does this matter? Consider this. The world is changing and global trade routes are shifting. Economies that once relied on Western markets are now looking east. China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, is reshaping global infrastructure, and countries like India can't afford to be left behind. In fact, they need to stay ahead. Vadhvan is India's answer to this changing landscape, its chance to grab a piece of the action. But can it deliver? Can this one port really push India forward? Let's get down to the details. Vadhvan isn't just about improving India's domestic logistics. It's about positioning India as a critical link in the global supply chain. With the rapid growth of economies in Central Asia, Russia, and Europe, Vadhvan is poised to become a vital gateway. Think about that for a second. Goods from these regions, traveling to the Middle East or Asia, could soon pass through India's newest deep-water port, and with direct access to the International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, and the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC. The port will not only connect India to its neighbors, but to far-reaching markets like Europe and Africa. Here's where it gets even more exciting. By 2030, Vadhvan could change the entire balance of trade for India. No longer will India be reliant on ports like Singapore or Dubai to handle its largest cargo ships. Instead, Vadhvan will allow ultra-large container vessels to dock directly in India, cutting down on transit times and drastically reducing costs for exporters and importers. Imagine how this could impact Indian businesses. From agriculture to manufacturing, the savings in time and cost could make India's exports more competitive globally. But that's just part of the story. This isn't just about money, it's about ambition. The government's vision for Vadhvan goes beyond numbers. They see it as a world-class maritime gateway. Think about those words for a moment, world-class. Not just the best in India, not just a regional player, but a port that can compete with the very best in the world. Rotterdam, Singapore, Shanghai. This is India making a statement. This is India saying, we're here, and we're ready to play on the global stage. And here's where things get interesting. The government projects that Vadhvan won't just handle trade, it will transform the local economy. Maharashtra's GDP is expected to rise by 1% due to the port's operations. 1% may not sound like much, but when you're talking about the economy of a state as large as Maharashtra, that's a huge number. Add to that the creation of 12 lakh direct jobs and 1 crore indirect jobs, and you start to see the scale of this transformation. But here's the question. Is this just a grand dream, or can Vadhvan actually deliver on its promises? India's port infrastructure has struggled with inefficiencies and delays in the past. So what makes Vadhvan different? The answer lies in the meticulous planning and advanced technology being deployed. Automated cargo handling systems, artificial intelligence, AI in logistics, and the integration of cutting-edge maritime tech will make Vadhvan one of the most advanced ports in the world. This isn't about building a traditional port, it's about building the future of global shipping. Now you might be asking yourself, why does this matter for India? Well, let's think about the bigger picture. India is positioning itself to be a global economic powerhouse. But to play in that league, it needs the infrastructure to match its ambitions. Vadhvan is a step toward that future. By creating a seamless connection between India's domestic industries and international markets, Vadhvan could be the key that unlocks India's full potential. But of course, a vision this bold comes with risks. The project has its skeptics, those who wonder if such an ambitious project can really be delivered on time and within budget. And there's the added pressure of delivering a port that doesn't just meet expectations, but exceeds them. So can India really build a port that will redefine its role in the global economy? Only time will tell. When you hear 76,220 crore rupees, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most, it's an almost unimaginable sum of money. But here's the thing, every rupee of that investment is crucial to making Vadhvan a reality. We're talking about building something on a scale that has never been attempted in India before. This isn't just a port, it's an entire economic ecosystem. But how is that Warrior 220 crore going to be spent? What are the nuts and bolts of this project? Let's break it down. First off, this massive investment is being funded through a public-private partnership, PPP. The Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority, JNPA, is taking the lead with a 74% stake in the project, while the Maharashtra Maritime Board, MMB, holds the remaining 26%. Why does this matter? Because a PPP structure ensures that the project benefits from both the efficiency of private enterprise and the backing of the government. This kind of partnership brings the best of both worlds, speeding up development while ensuring that the project aligns with national goals. But what is all this money building? The scope of the project is jaw-dropping. The Vadhvan Port will feature 9 container terminals and 4 multi-purpose berths. These terminals are where the magic happens. They're the heart of the port, where goods are unloaded, processed, and sent out to their final destinations. And the capacity? Prepare to be amazed. Vadhvan is designed to handle 300 MTA, million tons per annum, of cargo. To put that into perspective, most ports in India are struggling with less than half that capacity. Vadhvan will have the ability to accommodate the ultra-large container vessels, ULCVs, that dominate global shipping. Here's what that means. India will finally have a port that can compete with the giants of international trade. Ships that previously had to dock in places like Dubai or Singapore will now be able to come directly to India. And the scale of this capacity doesn't just help big corporations. It helps Indian exporters and small businesses get their products to international markets faster and more efficiently. This isn't just an investment in infrastructure, it's an investment in the future of Indian business. And it's not just about the cargo terminals. Vadhvan will also feature state-of-the-art logistics and warehousing facilities. Imagine a system where goods can be offloaded from a ship, processed in a high-tech warehouse, and then sent on their way whether by road, rail, or sea within hours. That's the kind of efficiency we're talking about, and it's all powered by cutting-edge technology. AI systems will optimize the movement of goods, automated cranes will handle containers faster than any human could, and real-time data analytics will ensure that everything runs smoothly. But here's where things get even more interesting. This isn't just a port for today. It's a port designed for the future. The Vadhvan project is focused on creating sustainable growth. That means integrating renewable energy sources, reducing carbon emissions, and building an infrastructure that can scale with the demands of the future. Think about it. As India's economy grows, so will the demands on its infrastructure. Vadhvan is being built with that growth in mind, ensuring that it remains relevant not just in 2030, but well into the future. But of course, a project of this scale isn't without its risks. The sheer size of the investment means that there's little room for error. Any delays or cost overruns could have significant consequences, but the stakes are too high to back down now. This is India's chance to build something truly transformative. And with every step forward, Vadhvan gets closer to becoming a reality. The question now is, will it live up to its promise? Or will it face the same challenges that have slowed down so many other ambitious projects? One thing is certain, if Vadhvan can deliver on its vision, it won't just change India, it could change the world of global trade. You're probably wondering, can a project of this scale be environmentally responsible? It's a valid question, especially when we're talking about building something as massive as the Vadhvan Port. But here's the surprise, Vadhvan isn't just about economic growth. It's about building a sustainable future. The port is designed with environmental stewardship in mind, aiming to become one of India's most environmentally friendly industrial projects. This isn't just a token gesture either. India is serious about reducing the environmental impact of its infrastructure projects, and Vadhvan is at the forefront of this movement. So how is this possible? How can a project that will handle millions of tons of cargo every year also be a green port? For starters, Vadhvan is part of a broader initiative to support India's blue economy. You may have heard that term before, but what does it actually mean? In simple terms, a blue economy focuses on sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, while preserving the health of marine ecosystems. It's a delicate balance, one that many countries are struggling to achieve. India is aiming to get it right with Vadhvan. One of the key features that sets Vadhvan apart is its integration of renewable energy sources. A portion of the port's energy needs will be met through solar and wind power, significantly reducing its carbon footprint. This is no small feat for a port that will handle such a high volume of traffic. But that's not all. The port will also implement waste management systems designed to minimize environmental pollution. This means everything from the ships that dock there to the workers operating the terminals will be held to stringent environmental standards. Efforts will be made to ensure that waste generated by the port is treated and recycled wherever possible, rather than being dumped into the sea. Now think about the impact this could have on the surrounding region. Coastal areas like Palghar are known for their fragile ecosystems, where even small disruptions can have large ripple effects. The government has promised to make sure that the Vadhvan project doesn't come at the cost of the environment. To that end, detailed environmental impact assessments have been carried out, with plans in place to protect marine life and preserve coastal habitats. Could this be India's answer to balancing economic growth with environmental responsibility? Only time will tell, but the initial signs are promising. Beyond the technology, there's a human element to the port's sustainability goals. The government has pledged that the development of the port will not come at the expense of the local fishing communities. In fact, part of the port's sustainability efforts is to integrate local communities into the economic benefits of the project. This means offering alternative livelihood opportunities for those who might be affected by the port's construction and operations. By supporting local businesses, creating jobs, and investing in community infrastructure, the Vadhvan project aims to benefit everyone, not just the big players in global trade. But here's the million-dollar question. Can a port this massive really be eco-friendly? Many would argue that the very nature of industrial ports handling huge volumes of cargo Building sprawling terminals means that environmental damage is inevitable. However, India is betting big on the idea that innovation and sustainability can go hand in hand. With the technology being employed at Vadhvan, we might be witnessing a new chapter in the way ports operate globally. If it works, Vadhvan could serve as a model for future deep water ports around the world. And that's a bold statement, one that could change how the world thinks about industrial development. When you hear about an investment as large as 76 billion 220 crore rupees, it's easy to get lost in the numbers. But let's break it down. What does this mean for everyday people? One of the most immediate benefits of the Vadhvan project is job creation, a staggering 12 lakh direct jobs and an estimated 1 crore indirect jobs. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. These are real opportunities for people, families, and entire communities. But where do these jobs come from? What kinds of roles will Vadhvan create? Let's start with the basics. Building a port of this size requires a massive workforce: engineers, architects, construction workers, and technicians. These are the people on the ground, laying the foundation for what will become one of the largest deep water ports in the world. But the job creation doesn't stop once the port is built. Once operational, the port will require thousands of workers to manage everything from cargo handling to customs processing to logistics management. And that's just the beginning. Think about the ripple effect. When you create that many jobs in one location, you don't just lift up one sector, you lift up the entire region. Local businesses will thrive. Everything from food vendors to transport companies to real estate developers will benefit from the influx of workers and the economic activity generated by the port. And this economic boost isn't confined to Maharashtra. The goods flowing through Vadhvan will touch industries across India, manufacturing, agriculture, textiles, and more. It's not just about moving products, it's about moving prosperity. But what makes this truly transformative is how it could reshape local economies. Take Palghar, for example. Before this project, Palghar was primarily known for its agriculture and small-scale industries. But with the construction of Vadhvan, Palghar will be catapulted into a new era of industrial and economic activity. New roads, housing, and public services will spring up to accommodate the workers and businesses that follow. In short, the entire region stands to benefit from this influx of economic development. But here's something that might shock you. The benefits of Vadhvan extend far beyond just Maharashtra. This port is poised to become a vital link in India's national economy, connecting with inland freight corridors and enabling the efficient movement of goods to and from key industrial hubs across the country. Think about how this will boost not just exports, but also domestic businesses. Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, that previously struggled with high logistics costs will now have a more affordable, faster option for moving their products. For these businesses, Vadhvan could be the lifeline that allows them to grow, scale, and compete on a global stage. But it's not just about business. The jobs created by Vadhvan will have a direct impact on people's lives. We're talking about families that will be able to send their kids to better schools, workers who will be able to buy their first homes, and communities that will see their standard of living rise. The trickle-down effect is real, and it's powerful. So could Vadhvan actually reshape the economic landscape of not just Maharashtra, but India as a whole? It's not just possible, it's highly likely. India's economy is growing at an unprecedented rate, but the infrastructure has struggled to keep up. Vadhvan is part of a broader solution to that problem, creating the jobs and opportunities needed to sustain this growth. But it's not just about creating any jobs, it's about creating good jobs. Jobs that pay well, that offer stability, and that provide opportunities for advancement. And when you create millions of jobs like that, you don't just boost an economy, you transform it. Now let's talk tech. The Vadhvan Port isn't just a massive infrastructure project. It's a cutting-edge facility designed to be one of the most advanced in the world. From AI-driven logistics to automated cargo handling, this port is going to be a technological marvel. But why does that matter? In today's global economy, speed is everything. The faster you can move goods, the more competitive you are. By integrating the latest technology, Vadhvan will be able to handle ships faster, process cargo more efficiently, and reduce turnaround times. That's good news for India's global competitiveness. But it's not just about speed, it's about capacity. With the ability to handle ultra-large cargo ships, Vadhvan is setting a new standard for Indian ports. No longer will India's largest ships have to rely on ports in Dubai or Singapore. Vadhvan is designed to compete with the best ports in the world, ports like Rotterdam, Singapore, and Shanghai. This means India won't just be a secondary stop for global trade, it will be a primary destination, but a port is only as good as its connections. That's why one of the most exciting aspects of the Vadhvan project is its integration with India's national infrastructure. The port will be connected to the dedicated freight corridors, DFCS, allowing goods to move quickly and efficiently across the country. In particular, Vadhvan will be linked to the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, one of India's most important economic zones. This will create a direct pipeline for goods to move from India's industrial heartland to global markets. And it's not just rail connections. The port will also be seamlessly integrated into India's road network, allowing for the smooth transportation of goods across the country. This kind of infrastructure development is critical for making sure that the benefits of the port are felt throughout India. Building India's largest deep-water port is no small feat. With a project of this size, challenges are inevitable, and the Vadhvan Port is no exception. There are several obstacles that the project needs to overcome before it can be fully realized. First off, there's the matter of environmental clearances. A port this large will have a significant impact on the surrounding ecosystems, and the government must ensure that proper environmental safeguards are in place. Coastal regions like Palghar are ecologically sensitive, and any project of this magnitude requires detailed environmental impact assessments to protect marine life, coastal habitats, and the livelihoods of local communities. Additionally, local opposition has emerged as another hurdle. Some local groups and environmental activists have voiced concerns about the potential damage the port could cause to the coastline and the impact on fishermen who rely on the sea for their livelihood. Balancing development with the needs of these communities will be key to the project's success. The government has promised to take these concerns into account, pledging to involve local stakeholders in the planning and development process to ensure the benefits of the port are shared by everyone. Then there's the sheer scale of the logistics involved in constructing the port. Coordinating the development of infrastructure, shipping terminals, rail links, and road connections all at the same time requires careful planning and execution. And that's not even considering the financial risks. With 76,220 crore rupees on the line, any delays or missteps could lead to cost overruns and missed deadlines. But the roadmap to completion is clear. The first phase of construction is already underway, focusing on the core infrastructure like the breakwater and terminal foundation. Over the next few years, we'll see the development of cargo terminals, container handling systems, and other critical port infrastructure. The project is set to be completed by 2030, and once finished, it will be ready to handle some of the largest cargo ships in the world. The Vadhvan Port isn't just about moving goods from point A to point B. It's a vision of India's future, a future where India is a key player in the global economy, where trade flows through India's ports as seamlessly as it does through Singapore or Rotterdam. This port, with its advanced infrastructure and strategic location, will be the beating heart of that vision. But the future of Vadhvan isn't just about numbers and cargo. It's about people, millions of people whose lives will be touched by the opportunities this port will create. From the workers building its foundations to the small business owners who will benefit from increased trade, Vadhvan represents a brighter future for everyone. As India continues its journey towards becoming a $5 trillion economy, projects like Vadhvan are more important than ever. They're the stepping stones to a future where India is a global leader in trade, innovation, and technology. The world is watching, and Vadhvan is India's answer to the call. Before you go, tell us what you think. Will Vadhvan be the game changer India needs? Leave a comment below and let's get the conversation going. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the biggest infrastructure projects shaping India's future. And hit that bell icon so you never miss a story that could impact your world.